Welcome to Series Addict. The early 1980s were a unique moment in television history, when technological optimism, Cold War anxiety, and pure entertainment collided. Airwolf emerged from this era not merely as an action series, but as a symbol of how television imagined power, secrecy, and heroism. At first glance, it was a straightforward adventure show built around a futuristic attack helicopter. But beneath the surface, Airwolf reflected the fears and fantasies of its time with surprising clarity. Airwolf is centered on a machine that borders on myth. A supersonic helicopter, armed beyond reason, hidden from the world inside a volcanic cavern. The aircraft itself is less a vehicle than a character. Silent, lethal, and almost supernatural. In a decade obsessed with military superiority and technological escalation, Airwolf represented the ultimate unseen weapon, something so powerful that it could not be trusted to governments, yet too dangerous to be left unused. At the heart of the series is Stringfellow Hawk, a man defined by loss and restraint. Unlike many action heroes of the era, Hawk is not driven by bravado or patriotic slogans. He is withdrawn, haunted, and emotionally distant. His connection to Airwolf is deeply personal, not ideological. The helicopter becomes both his shield from the world and the tool through which he negotiates with it. His isolation mirrors the series' recurring theme. Immense power comes at the cost of human connection. The relationship between Hawk and Dominic Santini provides the emotional balance of the show. Dominic brings warmth, humor, and a sense of old-world loyalty into a story otherwise dominated by machines and shadows. Their partnership feels earned rather than convenient. They are not soldiers following orders. They are caretakers of something that should not exist. This dynamic grounds the series, reminding the audience that even in a world of advanced weaponry, trust between people remains the most fragile element. Airwolf's missions often revolve around moral ambiguity. The series rarely frames its conflicts in simple terms of good versus evil. Government agencies are depicted as secretive and manipulative, sometimes indistinguishable from the threats they claim to oppose. This skepticism reflects a post-Vietnam, Cold War mindset, where authority is questioned rather than celebrated. Airwolf does not fight for flags. It operates in the gray space between necessity and exploitation. Visually, the series leaned heavily into atmosphere. Night flights, glowing instrument panels, and the constant hum of the rotor blades create a sense of tension even in moments of silence. The famous theme music amplifies this feeling, blending heroism with melancholy. It is not a triumphant anthem, but a reminder that every mission carries a cost. The soundscape of Airwolf became as iconic as the aircraft itself, embedding the show deep into pop culture memory. What sets Airwolf apart from many of its contemporaries is its pacing. While action is frequent, the show often allows scenes to breathe. Long aerial shots and quiet character moments give weight to the spectacle. This restraint suggests an awareness that technology alone cannot carry a story. The series understands that anticipation, not constant motion, is what creates tension. As the first season unfolds, Airwolf establishes its identity as more than a military fantasy. It becomes a meditation on control, who deserves it, who fears it, and who ultimately pays for it. The helicopter may be the most advanced machine in the sky, but the real conflict lies on the ground, in human decisions made under pressure. As Airwolf progressed beyond its opening chapters, the tone of the series grew noticeably heavier. The early sense of technological wonder slowly gave way to something more somber, almost fatalistic. Missions became more personal, the stakes less abstract. The show began to understand that its greatest strength was not the helicopter, but the emotional weight carried by those who flew it. This shift separated Airwolf from many action-driven contemporaries that relied purely on escalation. Stringfellow Hawk's inner conflict deepened as the series continued. He was never portrayed as a man becoming more comfortable with power. Instead, every successful mission seemed to push him further inward. His search for his lost brother remained an open wound, a narrative thread that reinforced the show's melancholic core. Unlike typical episodic television of the time, Airwolf allowed unresolved pain to exist without closure, lending the character a rare authenticity. The second and third seasons explored the consequences of secrecy more explicitly. Operating in the shadows takes a toll, and Airwolf increasingly acknowledged this cost. Characters became more suspicious of the institutions they served, and the line between ally and adversary blurred even further. Government agencies were no longer distant overseers, but active manipulators, reinforcing the series' mistrust of centralized power. This worldview resonated strongly during a decade defined by covert operations and proxy conflicts. Visually, the show leaned even harder into its nocturnal identity. Darkness became a storytelling tool. Airwolf often appeared at night, emerging from shadows like a phantom. This choice was not only practical but thematic. The helicopter was not meant to be seen. Its presence suggested intervention without accountability, power without transparency. In this sense, Airwolf felt less like a hero's vehicle and more like a necessary evil. The later seasons brought noticeable changes in structure and focus, reflecting both creative and production challenges. Budget constraints and cast changes altered the dynamic, and the series gradually shifted toward more conventional action storytelling. While this diluted some of the earlier introspection, it also highlighted how unique the original vision had been. The contrast made the first seasons stand out even more in retrospect, as artifacts of a bold creative gamble. Despite these changes, Airwolf's legacy endured. The series influenced how television portrayed advanced technology, not as a symbol of progress alone, but as a source of moral tension. It paved the way for later shows where machines are inseparable from ethical questions. Airwolf understood that the more powerful the tool, the greater the responsibility of those who wield it, a theme that remains relevant in modern storytelling. What truly keeps Airwolf alive in cultural memory is its atmosphere. The sound of the engines, the slow aerial movements, the isolation of the cockpit. These elements combined to create a mood that transcended plot. Even viewers who barely remember individual episodes often recall how the show made them feel. That emotional imprint is rare, especially for a series built around hardware and action. Looking back, Airwolf stands as a reflection of its time and a warning from it. A story born from Cold War tension, technological ambition, and deep mistrust of authority. It asked a question that television rarely voiced so directly in the 1980s. Just because we can build something, does that mean we should use it? Airwolf never offered an easy answer. Instead, it circled the sky, waiting, watching, and reminding us that power is most dangerous when it operates unseen. If you enjoyed this deep dive into a classic series, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us next time on Series Addict, where television history never stops flying.